What's up, Taiwan? I'm Jaime Ocon with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's government is floating plans to build green energy plants overseas to provide the country with more reliable sources of power. But the idea is facing stiff criticism from opponents. Reese Ayers has more on the proposals.
Taiwan could look abroad for potential new sites to build green energy plants. It's a proposal by Economy Minister J.W. Gov't that's been met with intense backlash. Gov't is proposing that with help from the government and the American Institute of Taiwan, that private contractors could find suitable sites in neighboring countries like Japan and the Philippines to build green energy plants and then transport that energy back to Taiwan, potentially helping Taiwan reach its target of having 30% green energy by 2030 and diversifying its energy portfolio in the face of increasing threats from China. Govt's proposal has faced a lot of criticism for being poorly thought out, as he was berated by several legislators.
看到这个讯息，哇，大家好紧张哦。
所以我可能我说话不够精准了哈，这一点我很抱歉。
那你讲是没这回事了？
不是没有这回事，
还是只有天方夜谭？
确实，我现在在想这个，然后我们还提出让专家继续来讨论，学者继续来研究，那么做这个可行性分析。
Opponents say that Govt's plan would be too expensive. He's proposing that ships and undersea cables could transport the energy from, for example, Luzon in the Philippines to Taiwan. But using the decade-long project that linked Taiwan and Penghu with undersea cables as a template, the cables to the Philippines alone would cost over $3 billion. Opponents also suggest the project would take decades to complete, doing nothing to help Taiwan reach its 2030 green energy goals. And they're saying that Taiwan should first consider utilizing its existing nuclear plants before looking abroad. All this leading Gov't to actually apologize, admitting it's all a bit out of his jurisdiction, and he's saying that he'll go away for 6 months to do his homework and come back with a more fleshed out proposal. Fu Huahong and Reese Ayers in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
The debate about fees set to be placed on carbon emissions is expanding. Already, environmentalists have said the planned rates are far too low, but now there's also disagreement about how to use the money raised. Jaime reports.
From 2026, carbon emissions will come with a price tag. The Environment Ministry expects the levies to create a fund worth $186 million. But while there's broad support for the fees in principle, there's little agreement about the details. Environmentalists say the levies aren't nearly high enough, and now politicians and companies are at odds over how the revenue should be spent. Officials in some regions want money that comes from local polluters to stay local.
至少要80%嘛，受到影响、受到牺牲、付出代价的是地方的民众。那所以地方政府应该拿这些来做建设或环保或健康的改善。
地方本身所为这个环境所付出的这个牺牲，能够至少1半以上留在地方，我觉得这是算是比较合理的。
But not all agree, and companies themselves want to make sure local governments use the funds to help cut emissions and don't treat it as free money to spend however they like.
我们在跟企业沟通的时候，他们也跟我们说，这个碳费他们要他们交可以，但是不能随便去盖公园呐，随便做一些很基本上地方建设的事，他们是有一些要求的。
The Climate Change Response Act limits how the money can be used, making sure this won't happen. But other details, like how the revenues should be divided and exactly what the money should go towards, are yet to be settled, meaning debate over the carbon levies will go on. Howard Zhang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
A leading K-pop star has told South Korea's parliament that it's time to address bullying in the music industry. John Van Trieste has this story.
한희 씨, 여기서 팬분들께 꼭 한마디만 좀 부탁드릴게요. 말 안 해도 팬분들이 제 맘 잘 아시니까 굳이 말할 필요 없습니다.
Hanni is one of the biggest stars in the multi-billion-dollar K-pop industry, but climbing the charts in this cutthroat world takes its toll. Artists are expected to maintain a flawless public image and deal with intensely demanding bosses. Today, she's addressing South Korea's parliament to call for change, especially when it comes to bullying within the industry. She says her group, NewJeans, has had it especially rough, victims of an ugly record label dispute. There have been accusations of sabotage, and Hanni says on at least one occasion, an executive has told staff to ignore her and her bandmates. Hanni says she's speaking out because she wants the industry to change.
이 세상의 모든 문제들을 해결해 줄 수 있는 법은 아니라는 걸 알지만 그래도 민성을 인간으로서 존경하면 적어도 직장 내 괴롭힘과 따돌림 문제는 없지 않을까 싶고요.
The head of NewJeans record label told lawmakers it had not found evidence to back up Hanni's accusations and that it is reviewing the situation.
한니 씨를 비롯해서 아티스트분들 저희 더 목소리에 귀 기울이고 아티스트분들의 인권까지 잘 보호해서 아티스트분들이 가지고 계시는 그 꿈과 희망을 잘 펼칠 수 있도록 더 세심하게 잘 살피겠습니다.
It's highly unusual for industry insiders, the stars or their managers, to so openly discuss long-running accusations of high pressure and bullying, pressure that has led to the suicide of performers on multiple occasions. But stars like Hanni hope their public testimony will shine more light on the darkness in the K-pop behemoth. Kama Xu and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
A man honored as one of Taiwan's national living treasures has begun a new chapter in his life. Yan Zhenfa made his name in the dying art of painting movie posters by hand, but now he's turning out his own original works. Sandy Chi has a story.
An iconic scene, hand-painted movie billboards at a cinema in southern Taiwan's Tainan. The artist who painted them, Yan Zhenfa, was considered the last of his kind, a master of a dying art form. Now he's officially put away his paintbrushes for the Treme Theatre due to disagreements with one of the owners. But for 50 years, Yan painted over 1,000 posters for films screened at the cinema. And for that, he was recognized as a national living treasure. Now he's embarking on a new artistic journey. Instead of bringing cinema posters to life with acrylic paint, Yan is creating more original work of his own. He's now working more with oils, a big departure from the movie posters with which he made his name.
它的色彩比较硬，比较干硬，这么那个油画就比较软，软它就要泡2-3次以上才会好看画油画是那越多次越好看呢。
While Yan is embarking on a new artistic phase in later life, it's a bittersweet feeling for the locals who watched him paint movie posters down the years.
这个好像有看过这个大稻埕油。哦，这个有啊，这个那个时候好像上映蛮久的，因为也是李安的作品嘛。对啊，其实就是我也是从小就待在这里了嘛，就是没事走来走去都会看到他在这里画，现在看不到，确实是就是有点不习惯啊，有点遗憾。
In October, 20 of Yan's original oil paintings went on display at a gallery in Tainan, his first solo exhibition since leaving the theatre. Among the works on display, one in particular caught the eye of a fan who was visiting from Taipei.
喜欢老师的设法像，因为我觉得就是因为人对自己都有一种就是包装，所以要画出自己，然后又很像的感觉很困难。
全部那个都灌在他那张图里面哦，那50年的差不多全部的都在那张图里面。
Now aged 71, and after decades of work that has taken a toll on his eyes, Yan faces the common ailments of getting older. But that does not stop him from doing what he loves.
做什么事都要坚持啊，一生都要坚持，都要画到眼睛看不见为止啊，眼睛看不见为止啊。
Yan Zhenfa made his name through the movies. Now his artistic career and his life have entered their third act. Time enough for a last creative outpouring, a Hollywood ending. Klein Wong and Sandy Chi for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with these images from the Grand Egyptian Museum, which just opened select sections of its collection for its trial run. I'm Jaime Ocon. Take care. We'll see you next time.